everyone. We're so glad you're back to hang out with us for another episode.
We are so glad to see you today.
Yes.
And I have not seen you in a while.
Yeah, it's actually been a few days. When we got together this morning, I was like, I feel like I haven't seen you in forever.
I know.
It seemed like for a long time, especially when we first got the podcast started. We were seeing each other like 4 or 5 days a week.
Yeah, working lots and lots. And now we seem to like have it down a little bit better.
Got a routine.
Yes, have a little routine set, which we always knew that would happen.
Yeah.
And we kept saying we can't wait for the day when we have a routine set.
Yeah, and we've got episodes already scheduled to launch in the future. And so it feels really good to be at that point right now where we could take a little time away and focus on life.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
And except talking about life, you have had kind of a stressful week this week, or this past week, I should say.
Yeah, for sure. So I'll just give you guys a little update. Our little Yorkie Echo, who we call our podcast mascot, was limping. And so about 3 weeks ago, we took him to the vet. And they wanted to do an x-ray on his back left leg to see what was going on. And when the vet called to give us the results of the x-ray, she basically was telling us that the leg was the least of her worries. And so I was like, why? And so basically she told us that Echo has had a tumor growing in his abdomen so long that it's like this big. She said 4 inches in diameter. And I was so shocked. Like, we had no idea. I mean, the funny thing is that we always thought he had such a pudgy little belly. Yeah, and the funny thing is, I even talked about it in that 'Twas the Night Before a Launch Day poem I wrote, because I had mentioned that his bowl kind of jiggled like a bowl full of jelly when he barked.
Gosh.
And then I felt so bad, because I'm like,
it was a tumor.
The poor baby has a tumor.
Oh, my gosh. And then also, too, not only that, his leg was dislocated, right?
Yeah, so the x-ray showed that his leg was dislocated, and she said the surgery would cost about $3,000. Well, the crazy thing is, I went out to dinner with some girlfriends, and one of my friends had said that her little dog, excuse me, even though it's not a Yorkie, it was still a little dog, and her dog's leg used to pop out of socket too, but her vet showed her how to pop it back in the socket. And so I was too nervous to even try it. But ironically, Brayden and I were giving Echo a bath, and I held Echo up in the sink so that Brayden could scrub his legs. And while he was scrubbing his legs, Brayden felt it, and I heard it. It was a click. And so we thought, oh my gosh, did we make it worse, or did Brayden accidentally pop it back in socket? And Brayden actually did, because after we were done blow drying him, Echo just took off running, grabbed his toy. He was ready to play. So we kind of feel like maybe we fixed that.
Yeah.
But now that there was this tumor issue, the next thing that the vet wanted us to do was to get an ultrasound to determine where the tumor was originating from. And when they did the ultrasound, they found it was originating from the spleen. And then there was another tumor, a 2-inch tumor, on the spleen also. So.
And thank goodness his leg popped out of joint.
Yes.
Because if they had not taken him in, because he limped for literally like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Because I kept saying, oh, it's probably a pulled muscle.
Yes.
My little Yuki, should jump him off the bed, and that would happen. She'd get sore.
Yes.
And then in about a week or so, she's better.
Yeah.
But Echo was not getting better.
No.
And so thank goodness they took him in to have that x-ray. They would have never, ever known.
No, I literally would have just kept thinking he was a chubby puppy.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing, too, is that we give him, like, this really good metabolic food that the veterinarian prescribes. And we take him in every year for a checkup so that they could renew the prescription for his dog food. And this was never discovered.
Gosh,
so literally.
That is crazy.
Yeah, because once we knew it was there, then we're like, oh my gosh, like, this little pup is like a ticking time bomb.
Aww.
We were so afraid for him to jump off the bed or the couch or even run up the stairs.
Oh, yeah.
Because we're thinking, like, if it's like 4 inches and it's hanging off his spleen, like, that could rupture the spleen. It could, the tumor itself could rupture. So anyhow, we ended up deciding that we were going to take him to a pet hospital. Our vet was more than happy to do the procedure, but they don't have the capability to do a blood transfusion.
Like a pet hospital.
Yeah. And so I asked my veterinarian, she is wonderful at Granite Bay Veterinary Clinic, Dr. Blummer, give a shout out. I asked her if she would just take off her doctor hat and talk to me like a friend. What would she do if this was her pet? And she agreed that because the risk of a blood transfusion is is something that could happen, that if it was her, she would take her a pet, to the pet hospital because they would have the overnight monitoring for 24 hours and they could do a blood transfusion if he needed one, because if he needed one and I had taken him to the clinic where she's at, he would have passed away during surgery. And that was not an option.
I don't want that on me.
Oh my gosh, no. I'm like, it's only money. Like at this point, I'm like, I do not want to take a chance.
Yeah,
and when Dr. Blummer gave her advice, I was so grateful because I just needed somebody to make me feel better about the decision, especially because the quote at the hospital was so high. But anyways, we did decide to take him to the pet hospital. We dropped him off on Tuesday morning, and they were great about, getting back in touch with us and keeping us posted on how he was doing throughout the day and through the night. And so we picked him up yesterday, and they actually used the opportunity when he was under anesthesia to remove a little skin tag on his back that Dr. Blummer had been monitoring, and she didn't think it was worrisome, but we thought while he's under anesthesia, let's just get rid of any concerns.
Yes.
So they sent the tumors and the spleen off and the skin tag to get
biopsied.
They
took the spleen out too.
Yes, they had to remove the spleen too.
Okay, I didn't realize that.
Yes, because the tumors were actually growing out of the spleen. It was all like one
and
big
his
organ.
spleen was probably like that big.
Yeah, I did Google it.
I mean, the dog is that big, right?
Yeah, Echo. And so the funny thing is when I picked him up yesterday, I was so curious how much those tumors in the spleen weighed.
Right.
So he literally was a pound lighter.
Pound,
And I mean, when he's only like 8.1 pounds when we took him to get the x-ray, I'm assuming now he's 7.1 pounds. And now he's not an overweight Yorkie, so.
I know, when I saw him this morning, I'm like, oh my God, he looks so thin.
Yes.
I go, he just had a tummy tuck.
Serious? Yes, I did totally tell Steve that it might look like Puppy had a tummy tuck.
It's like, dang, just need to have a little tumor attached to my spleen.
Not to get it written on my insurance.
The insurance will pay for another tummy tuck.
Oh
right?
my gosh.
Not another, a tummy tuck.
Yes, a tummy tuck. So,
oh goodness.
Anyhow, we've been monitoring Echo. He's wearing the cone of shame, and we try not to make him wear it all day. So I've been like watching him like a hawk, and Braden's downstairs right now watching him, so we make sure he doesn't lick any of the wounds on his back or his tummy. So anyhow,
good,
yes, I mean. He's running around.
Walking around. I wouldn't say running, but he's walking around.
Well, he ran when he knew you were coming to the door.
Oh, he ran?
Yeah,
oh, gosh,
he ran to. I mean, I'm kind of nervous because I'm like, oh my gosh, he just had a major surgery.
Yeah, like don't bust a stitch here.
I know. Yeah. Totally. They've given us a lot of things to look for and what to watch for, and he's eating and
I know how stressful that can be when something's wrong with the puppy. Oh my gosh, it just breaks your heart.
Yes.
And like I remember you telling me that and I know what you feel like because I had to take Yuki to the to the vet and leave her overnight one time when she ate a whole dark chocolate Santa Claus and she had to get her tummy pumped and all that stuff. But to leave your dog at a place that they don't know what's going on, and but they don't know, and they're looking at you like,
why are you
like, what the hell are you doing?
Why are you dropping me off?
Yeah,
because Echo had no idea he had the tumor. Like he was
don't leave me.
Yes.
And,
that was the hardest part.
That is. You just want to bawl your eyes out the whole way home.
Well, and then I kept thinking if I take him to the clinic to have the procedure done, the surgery, and he needed a blood transfusion, then how would I feel knowing that he's like, why are you taking me to the vet? Like, I am fine.
Yeah.
He's not knowing he has a tumor.
Yeah.
And then he passes away during surgery.
Gosh.
Like, there was no way.
Yeah.
So,
we can only talk about it now because we know he did well.
Yes, because every time I talk about it, I was bawling. I felt so bad for Dr. Blummer because she's like, I'm counseling this poor girl, because every time we were on the phone, I was so emotional.
Crying. Yeah.
This is Braden's brother. We never had any other kids. So we even call him baby brother. Like, anyhow, so Yeah, I'm so glad he's doing good.
Well,
I'm going to have
too.
a few sleepless nights because I am sleeping downstairs on the couch in the room that we never use because that's where we put his pen. But
Yeah.
at least I can keep an eye on him, and I'm a very light sleeper. So as soon as he started to whine or squeal, I was like awake at like 3:38 this morning.
Yeah,
So
making sure you don't keep the cone on his head when he goes to sleep.
yes,
or
I
anything.
did actually.
Oh, okay, I was gonna say that.
Yeah.
That's good because
Because I was afraid he might lick while I was sleeping.
exactly. Yeah. Then what's the use being down there if you're gonna sleep through his licking, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay,
And
good.
he does not like the cone. That's why we were
No,
trying so hard
none
to
of the
keep it
dogs
up.
like him. They
But as
hate
soon
him,
as I
but-
put it on, that's when the whining started. And I was like, oh my gosh. I mean, at least he's not barking. But I listened to him whine for like 30 minutes before I fell asleep. So I hope he fell asleep shortly after that.
What you need to do is put that cone on a couple hours prior to going to sleep.
That might be a good idea.
Then his whining is done.
Yeah,
And
I'm
then-
not used to this
yeah.
sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I should do that.
So
That way
that
at least he's used to it and
he's
I don't
used
have
to
to
it.
listen to
Exactly.
him whining while I'm, trying to
Yeah.
get him calm down.
Well, that is a pretty stressful
Yeah.
week, and and then the few days prior to that,
Yeah,
we
got-
had fun.
Yes, we got to celebrate Cynthia's birthday this
my
time.
turn to have a birthday.
Yes, it was so fun.
Oh my gosh! So this girl totally outdid herself, like she always does, and I just had the best day ever.
Yes,
We just had a
full day.
blast, and so she took me to a place that I had never been to before to start our day.
Yeah.
So when and I don't know if you saw our birthday girl trip when I did Marilyn's birthday.
She took me to
But-
Reno.
But we always, if we don't go out of town, we always plan the entire day for each other.
Yeah, not necessarily on our birthday, but we picked
Yes.
one day.
Yeah, when we're available.
Yeah, to celebrate the whole day together. And
Yes.
so I got to have her on her actual birthday.
On my actual birthday,
Yeah.
it totally worked out that there were things going on a weekday.
Yes.
You know, that was my actual birthday.
Yes.
So that was super special.
Yeah,
It really
and
was.
I felt honored to have her on her birthday.
Oh, and I was honored to be honored.
And I had fun honoring you.
Okay.
So I wanted to take her somewhere to get a light pastry
Yes.
for breakfast so we
Right.
didn't get too full.
Yeah,
Because-
just have a nice coffee to start the
Yeah.
morning and be able to talk and catch up,
Pastry,
a couple days.
catch up. Yeah.
And a new place that I had never been to, which I never even heard of it, never even knew it existed.
Yes.
And I was like, she goes, I'm going to take you to Paris Baguette. And I'm like, where's that? And she's like,
was
you know,
like,
there's
yay.
actual one.
She
near
never heard of it.
us. I'd never heard of it. And so I'm like, I had no idea. So I did look it up online, and I'm like, wow, I had no idea that this place even was there, and maybe, 10, 15 minutes from our house.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah. So anyway, that's how we started our day. So I think I picked you up like around 11-ish
Yeah.
in the morning because we knew she had other things planned
Yeah,
for
the whole-
later. Yeah.
The whole day.
I mean, the evening plan was starting at 7 p.m., so we had a long day, right?
I wanted to let her sleep in a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, it was my birthday after all. right?
Yeah, for sure.
Wanted to sleep in. So anyway, so we get there, and I think both of us,
Yeah.
because we both had never been there.
Nope.
And both of us were mesmerized when we opened up the doors, and we're like, oh, this place is huge.
It is so crazy, like spectacular.
Yeah, it looked like a Paris giant
Yes.
cafe.
Yes.
With the white and black wicker chairs.
Yes.
And I thought it was going to be like a bakery.
Yeah, where
Like-
you just walk up to one
to a
counter.
case, and maybe
Yeah.
two,
Yeah.
right? Maybe two cases. Literally a line down the whole side
Yeah,
of pastries.
one side, and then
one side
half of the other side where
was
the register was.
cakes,
Cakes and
cakes and
specialty.
more. Yeah, there was
fuzzy.
like pieces of cakes.
Yeah.
and whole cakes, and then not only was this whole side pastries, but in the middle there is another pastry thing.
Yeah, where it's kind of like where you can walk around
Walk around
the
it,
whole
yes.
thing and lift up the
Yeah, you
or
slide the door.
Slide the door, yeah.
And you pick your pastry
Yeah.
with the tongs.
And they've got
Yeah.
like when they give you a tray
tray.
with the tissue paper, and then you take a pair of tongs. Like
Yes.
it is like all ready
So
for you to do
freaking
like a buffet
cute.
kind of thing.
Yeah. It was awesome. So we both, we're both going, oh Oh my God.
Yeah, because I just had no idea. I even looked it up online, and they showed everything that they have at the store.
Yeah.
But I just thought that it was going to be like, okay, so maybe on Wednesdays, because your birthday was a Wednesday.
Yeah.
Maybe on that day they have like 10 of the pastries. No.
Right.
Every single day,
Oh my gosh.
they have every single pastry. And so immediately I was like, forget just sharing a couple of pastries. We're gonna try like 5 or 6.
She went a little nuts.
I did.
Okay?
I couldn't help myself.
And I didn't want to say anything because she treats me for my whole birthday. So I didn't want to say like that kind of costs. You might want to spend so much.
Well, and we're trying not to get too filled up with food because
because
I have lunch.
Yeah, we're going to a tea at 2:30. Right?
Yeah.
2:30.
And it's 11.
Yeah, and it's 11:30. I think by the time we
by
got there.
now.
Yeah. So anyway, so it did take us a while even to pick, right?
Yeah.
And at first we're like, okay, we're gonna get one, and we're like, we can't even pick one.
No,
There's
I couldn't.
way.
And I wanted a
There's so
savory
many.
and a sweet.
Yeah, yeah.
But then there were so many good ones with like fresh fruit on the
Oh, my
top.
gosh.
And I love chocolate. So we got a couple of fresh fruit ones. One had a lemon filling.
Yeah, one had a lemon curd, but also I kept saying, why do they have like I can see an Asian flair to some of their pastries? And I'm like, why do they have the milk bread? I'm like, that's what they have at the Japanese bakery.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's weird. Why would I go, oh, I guess maybe French people do the milk bread too.
Maybe.
Well, then we went to another case and I'm like, why do they have mochi donuts here?
Yeah.
That's strange. And I go, I've only had a mochi donut in Hawaii. There's a Hawaiian bakery and they had the mochi donuts. And actually the last time I went was the first time I'd ever had a mochi donut.
Oh.
And then another part had a mochi like donut with the red bean inside. And I'm like,
Oh.
what the heck is going on?
Right.
I go, that is so odd to me that a French bakery would have such Asian
Yeah.
things.
Offerings, yeah.
So, guess what I found out?
What?
It's owned by Koreans.
Oh.
Yes. So, my
Interesting.
brother-in-law...
So Koreans eat the same pastries as Japanese culture?
Japanese food, Chinese food, Korean
I
food.
see.
So much of it are the same ingredients, and I've learned this because
Interesting.
my husband is Chinese, and my brother-in-law, which is my husband's brother, married a Korean girl. So I got to learn all about Korean
Oh,
food.
interesting.
So what I found out was they all use the same ingredients, but it's cooked a little bit differently.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's done a little different. And especially the Korean is more spicy, right?
Oh, I would like that.
And so that is a lot of the same things, but it's just spicier. But they tweak it just a little bit different. Well, these pastries were a little different also. So like the mochi donut I got that was round that had the red azuki beans inside, it was rolled in like cinnamon sugar, and I thought that's odd. I've never had cinnamon with azuki beans.
I wanted to try that one.
Yeah, and that was my favorite.
Was it?
That was my favorite. When I go back, I'm going for that
Oh, okay.
one.
I'm so glad. Because
was so
I had a
good.
different favorite.
Yeah, which one was your
Well,
favorite?
I really liked the custard filling on the berry. I think it was called the very berry. That one was delicious. But I also wanted to get something chocolatey, which is why I was having such a hard time, and we just decided to get 5 or 6.
We got 6 pastries.
Yeah, I think it was 6.
And we were going to split every one of them.
Yes, and I kept thinking, like, oh my gosh, this little, pastry is just like this big.
like 3 bites.
Yeah,
right?
3
Like
bites of this one and 3 bites of that one. And
then
anyways.
3 bites of this one and 3 bites of that one.
Yes. Well.
Because we ate it all.
Yes.
Because we kept saying, oh, well, if we don't eat it all, we'll just take them home.
Yeah, we could just take them home because I had reservations at 2:30 at the Sotherton Tea Room in Lincoln. And so I figured we're going to go right by my house on our way there.
Yeah, we
could just put them in the refrigerator. And we ended up eating all of them.
Well, they were so
good.
We wanted to try them all, right?
Yeah,
it was like we couldn't just leave one untested.
Yeah.
So we wanted to try them all. So then I think we literally probably had maybe like 2 little bites left of a couple that weren't our actual favorites.
Yeah.
You know, trying not to fill up.
Right.
And then, you know, we drank our coffees and stuff. And we literally sat there for...
Until like 2 o'clock.
I mean, it was crazy.
Yeah.
And we were just talking and kind of talking with the girls at the counter because I was asking about their cakes and stuff.
Yeah.
Because there's one cake in there. I want a piece of that cake so bad. It was called that strawberry cream cake.
Oh.
That is like my favorite kind of cake.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
oh, that just looks so delicious with like white, you know, sponge cake and whipped cream
frosting
and fresh strawberries.
Oh, that sounds good.
Looks so good.
Well, now I know what to get you for your next birthday.
So here we thought we had all this time.
Yeah, because
right?
we're like, okay, the reservation's not till 2:30.
2:30.
But
Well-
now all of a sudden we're looking at our watch and we're like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, we gotta go.
Yeah. And then we're thinking, again, we're going to have so much time between the tea and the next adventure, which was not till 7 p.m.
Yeah.
So 2:30 is the tea, 7 p.m. was the next thing.
Yeah.
So we even stopped off from the Paris Baguette. We ran past Marilyn's house to pick up something that she needed to return to the mall because we thought, oh, you know what? We're going to have this dead time in between.
At least we could go to the mall and
get
hang out.
something.
I can return
always
something.
fun to look, you know, look at stuff at the mall, and she could get something done, get something returned.
Yeah.
So we did run by and pick that up, throw it in the trunk because it's right on the way to the tea house.
Yeah.
So get to the tea house. Got there right at 2:30, right? And we got this beautiful table.
Yes.
Such a beautiful table she had, and it was.
We gotta rave about this place for a minute because I don't think we've talked about it. Cynthia and I have been there several times, but this tea house opened probably about a year ago, maybe just over a year.
Yeah.
It's called the Sotherton Tea Room in Lincoln. Hi, Elaine. She's amazing.
Hi.
She's the owner.
Yes.
And they've got an amazing chef and the sweetest servers, and it is literally like you are stepping back into time, and you're in a regal English
home.
tea house, or in a home.
Yeah, because she has like some
green
couches.
couches. We'll post pictures
chairs.
when we drop the video. We'll post some pictures, but and they bring you out like a real silver teapot and china, and I mean it is just so regal and fancy, and you just feel like you're just walking into an entire experience when you walk in the door.
It's an experience. It's not just going somewhere and having tea. It is an experience. And it was so funny was that Marilyn had said, gosh, you know, I would like to take you to the tea house, you know, on your birthday.
Yeah.
And we knew that Wednesdays was movie day. And what she does is she would show, so you have your tea, and then you start your tea, and then a half an hour in, she starts a movie. And they're like old time movies. So like the last time we went, we went and saw Gigi. And I had never even seen that movie before, right? And it was so freaking cute, right? So when we were looking up, because my birthday happened to fall on a Wednesday.
Yeah, that was what was so ironic.
Yes.
Because she and I were working on podcast stuff, and then I realized, oh my gosh, her birthday's in like 3 weeks. So I thought, oh, I wonder if the tea house is open on her birthday. And it was so crazy because when we searched what movie was playing on her birthday, it was literally her favorite movie of all time.
Of all time. It's the movie Somewhere in Time. And a lot of people, when I tell them that, they don't know what that movie is. But it is the movie with Christopher Reeves, and this is his way before Superman. So it's Christopher Reeves and Jane Seymour. And it is like the best love story, traveling in time. It is the best movie. I saw it when it came out, I think in the 90s.
Actually, I did.
When was it?
It was 1980.
Oh, it was in the 80s?
Yes, it was October 3rd, 1980. I was so curious when this came out. Because I was probably in like junior high.
20s. Yeah, I was in my 20s. Wow. So, because I had gone to the theater with my dad and my sister to see this movie.
So special. I love that.
And from that moment, we all three fell in love with that movie. We just loved it so much. So throughout my lifetime, I have watched that movie probably 20, 25 times. And I cry every single time I see that movie. I cried 2 times.
Yes.
And so I haven't watched it in quite a while. So anyway, so that was like when Marilyn, when she pulled out what movie was playing, we're just like, oh my God.
I'm like, please, can I dip
We
you
have
for your
to
birthday?
go on that day, you know.
And the cute thing, too, is that was one of my mom's favorite movies.
Oh, that's right.
And I had seen the movie with my mom, and my mom is no longer with us. So
Yeah,
watching the
neither
movie,
is my dad.
right?
Yeah.
It's like very melancholy, but
It
very
was.
sweet, you know, to know that movie connected to your dad.
And your mom.
Yeah, and my mom and
I
stuff, and that
know.
was really sweet. But I did, when I was doing some research about the movie, I found out the cutest tidbit, and it kind of broke my heart a little bit.
Oh, wow.
And I don't know if you know this.
Probably not.
Okay, so in the movie, the chemistry that Jane Seymour and Christopher Reeves have is so beautiful. Like, you're like, oh my gosh, they're such beautiful actors. But I found out they actually were falling in love while filming the movie.
I did not know that.
And she said that it was so magical for her to go to work every single day and film with Christopher Reeves, and that he felt the exact same way.
Just
and
like going to school and seeing the cute boy.
yes! We're just as like, you're just
Oh,
like
my gosh.
filled with excitement, and that's how she felt.
Wow.
She said it was so easy to film falling in love with him because she was already falling in love with him.
Oh my
But
gosh.
here's the plot twist.
Uh-oh.
And it made me so sad. So I don't want to ruin the movie, but in the one love scene that they have in the movie, that morning before filming, she found out that Christopher Reeve, well, actually Christopher shared it with her. Christopher Reeves' ex-girlfriend reached out to him to tell him that she was pregnant.
Oh my God, I did not know it.
I know. I didn't either. I was hoping you would know because I wanted to share it with you.
Well, and I always knew that Jane Seymour and Christopher Reeves had always stayed like best friends, like really good friends all the years. And when he got in his accident, everything, they were always really good friends.
Totally. And she literally said in this article that they were friends until the day he died, but that she always had this like
little
deep
special
love.
heart, a part of her heart for him.
Because he ended up staying with his ex, and they ended up having another baby after that, and spent several more years together.
They spent until he died, right? Or
no,
was that a different one?
It was a different one. He was married at least twice.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. I didn't realize that.
Because he had a son and I believe a daughter with the first wife, and then had another son with his last wife.
I did not know.
I know. Oh my gosh. Because
no wonder it was so good.
Yes, because
they really did like each other.
Okay, and the thing too was that she said if you watch the movie, after they've had this love scene, she's supposed to be filled with like extreme joy because they shared this moment together.
Yeah.
She said she was trying so hard to fight back the tears because she had just learned the man she's falling in love with has to go. Well, he chose to go back to his ex, you know, to raise the baby. And so she said if you look closely, you'll see that her eyes are half filled with tears, and she was doing everything she could to choke them back, and that just made me even more sad, you know, that was like a love that never happened.
Oh my gosh.
I know, I thought you would find that interesting.
I do.
I hope you don't find it sad though.
No, I just find it that I can see why they would the movie was so realistic.
Yeah.
You know, because she really was falling for him,
Yes.
especially when she yells, and that's where I start crying, so I won't say anything.
Yeah, don't give us
just in case you want to look it up and find that movie.
Yeah, the movie is great.
It's
Somewhere in
so
Time.
good, yeah.
And we found it on Amazon Prime because after her and I watched it at the tea house, I wanted to watch it again.
I know.
It was so good.
I have it on like DVD.
DVD.
Yeah,
I think I do too, but
and it's, I every once in a while I'll just pop it in because it's like I want to watch that movie.
all the good feels. Yeah,
it is so wonderful. But
so the whole time that we're watching the movie, they bring out your afternoon full tea lunch on a 3-tiered.
But first,
tray.
you have to remember they brought us a quiche.
Oh,
a
that's
big
right.
slice of quiche.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, so that's like before the movie even begins, they bring you a pot of tea. A pot of tea.
Yeah. Oh, you sound so British.
and then they brought you out this nice big slice.
Yeah, super
thinking
toast.
it was like a spinach and cheese.
Yeah.
So yummy. Now, I did eat that.
Yes.
I think you got one bite down.
Okay, well, the whole thing is that I was so excited to eat this amazing lunch at the tea house. Because like I said, I've been there several times before. And they bring all these cute little tea sandwiches. On the top layer, it's all the desserts. And then tea sandwiches on the bottom and scones in the middle. It's this whole thing. And I was so excited. But
we both were.
Just eating those dang 6 pastries at Paris
Well,
Baguette.
really 3, because we only ate half of 6.
Oh, that's true. Okay, let's look at it like
now
that.
Now that I think about it, we ate 3 whole pastries.
Yeah, we literally did. And like I said, I thought we were going to be taking leftovers home.
Yeah, we were going to eat like 1.
We should have literally
Max.
cut them all in half and shared a half.
I know, we should.
Because the frustrating thing was, I was so full, I literally thought I was going to explode.
I
And
know.
I could barely eat anything at the tea house.
I made
Yeah,
myself
I was
eat
impressed that you put down the
quiche.
quiche. Yeah.
Because I just didn't think it was going to taste good afterwards, and I feel bad because it's kind of like, here she is bringing me here, and I'm so stuffed.
I know,
And
it
I'm
was
like,
my
oh my
fault.
God, what am I going to do? I got to eat this stuff. So we're drinking tea, drank a lot of tea, I think,
Yeah.
because we weren't eating as much.
Yeah. Well, and I thought if I'm going to get my money's worth out of this, I could take the food home.
We can always take it home, right?
I could just drink tea. So
I
I was
know.
like, I'll try this one. And every time they bring you a new flavor of tea, they bring you an entire pot.
Yeah, and you get to pick which one you
Yeah,
want. They
there's
have a list.
Yeah, 5 or
And-
6 different flavors of tea, and she curates all of them herself. It's all loose leaf
they're
tea,
yummy.
and they're delicious. And
Well, yeah, and I could only, so the little tea sandwiches, I literally could eat, I got one down. And it was the little cucumber cream cheese dill.
with
and it
dill,
was really
fresh
good.
dill
yeah,
on the
they
top.
cut the crust
Oh,
off and
so
all that.
good.
So I got that down.
I actually ate that, but I didn't eat my
That's the
quiche.
only one I ate.
Oh my gosh!
So I got my quiche and 1 finger sandwich down. And I was like,
That was all.
I cannot. I'm gonna blow up if I eat any more, right?
Yeah.
And so we kept saying, okay, we're just gonna take it home and we'll be able to enjoy it more, because I'm like making myself eat this stuff, and feeling bad because she's paying for it all, right? And I'm
Yes.
thinking, oh my gosh, I don't want to not eat this, but I couldn't, and I felt better. It would have been worse if she ate all hers and I didn't eat mine.
Yeah,
right?
no, because I was like giving you kudos for eating the quiche, because that
gosh.
was a hearty piece of
That
quiche.
was a hearty piece.
Yeah. So anyhow, I just kept thinking, like, I want to try all the teas. 'cause
I think we
she
had 3
rotates.
pots of tea.
Yeah, we had 3 pots of tea, and I was sipping the whole time, and then I was so mad because I had to take 2 potty breaks in
I
the
know,
movie,
right?
and
Goes
I didn't
whoosh
want
right
to
through
miss
ya.
anything. I don't think I've ever made it to the ladies' room and back so fast because I didn't want to miss any part of the
I
movie.
know, right?
Because it had been since 2009 that I'd watched the movie when my mom was ill and staying with us. And
That's why
so
she had to watch it again.
I wanted
because
to
she
watch
wanted
it
to see the little part she missed.
Yes.
She goes, I know exactly when I went to the bathroom.
Yes, and I knew both times. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, I totally missed
I
that part.
remember.
Yeah. But anyhow,
But-
so then we just love Elaine, and we're meeting some of the servers for the first time, and they had a new chef, Jan. Oh, did we
I
forget
just-
to talk about the champagne?
Oh, that's
Because that
right.
was so cute. I just
Well, for your birthday.
yes.
Right. Oh, no, it's the Queen's
It was
tea.
because we got the
She
Queen's
had
tea.
ordered the Queen's tea.
Yeah, so you get
it's like
more
the most
desserts.
elaborate one.
Yeah, there's chocolate covered strawberries, and there was a lemon cheesecake and a lemon bar and a little brownie bite, and I mean there was
Oh, it was
so
Yeah,
much.
it's so much stuff.
So
And
much.
The scone, and you got the little Devonshire cream.
Oh
and
yeah, the
jam.
clotted
Yeah,
cream.
the clotted cream.
She makes sure she gets.
Yeah. Oh,
she
that's
orders
right. She does. She
clotted
orders that.
cream.
That's right.
Mhm.
And
And
so for the Queen's tea, you get a little coupe of champagne.
Yeah.
And theirs is, and I don't drink, right? I always do a taste.
Yes, and I
Because
usually get it after
so
that.
she gets it, yeah.
Yeah.
But I always like to taste it, and I was just like, her champagne, because we had this once before.
Yes.
Her champagne is yummy, because it's sweet, and I like sweet things.
Yes.
And what was it again that she called it? The type that she gets?
Oh, it was a French
A
champenois.
certain French one she gets, huh,
Yeah.
didn't she say? And it's so cute because they put it in the little coupe, so it's really, the big,
Very shallow.
tall, shallow,
Like a rounded martini glass.
And they have a little pink rosebud floating
Dried
in it.
rosebud.
Yeah,
Like
at
a
first-
mini rosebud.
Yes.
Yeah.
At first, I thought it was like this little raspberry, like a dried raspberry, something floating in it.
Yes.
And I'm looking, and I'm like, that's a little pink dried
I was
rosebud.
afraid you weren't going to like it because
Well, yeah, because I
you
don't
hate
like. Yeah.
rose.
I don't
Anything
like the
flavored
taste
rose.
of rose.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Well, you don't even like the smell of rose.
I mean, yeah. You know how when people get roses, they go, "Oh, that smells so wonderful." I'm like, "Oh, that's nice."
Yes, because when
like
we're trying
the smell.
lotions or perfumes.
Oh yeah, no flowery
Yeah,
stuff.
you
I
don't
don't
like the
roses and
Do you
all
remember when we went to Folsom and I ordered the rose ice cream?
that. Oh, yeah.
At that ice cream parlor.
Yes.
I was so curious. I couldn't pass it up. In the ice
girl
cream
kept
parlor.
she kept saying, "Oh, you got to try this. You got to try this." And I'm like, "No, I don't think so."
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, I'll try.
I totally want to try anything like that. I was like, bring me the sample.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I ordered a whole cup of it. But the funny thing is, there's literally dried rose petals in the rose flavored ice cream, and it literally tasted like I was eating perfume. But I tell you, I love a strange experience. So I kept going at it, and after a while, I was like, you can only eat so many dried rose petals in the ice cream. So I was
Probably
like,
kind of like kept going around your mouth.
yeah, I
You
was
couldn't
like
swallow them.
spitting them out, kind of like I did with
Your
the nuts in my
pistachios.
Spumoni ice cream a couple months ago. But anyhow,
gosh.
yeah, it was just so cute. The whole experience was so wonderful.
Oh, it
And
was.
honestly, the experience, the tea experience, was over at like 4:45, and we knew we had until 7. When the next thing I had planned for her was I'd gotten us tickets for the Harris Center to see the Great Gatsby ballet, and that was going to be like so exciting because her and I had compared notes. We both had never been to a ballet before.
We had talked about this around, actually way back at Christmas time, because I had talked about the Nutcracker, and I said, "Have you ever been to a ballet before?" And she's like, "No," and I go, "Either have I." And so we kind of said it would be kind of fun to go to see the Nutcracker.
Yeah.
Well, we never did. We were doing so many other things, mostly trying to figure this thing out, this podcast stuff, right?
Yes,
And
we were a little focused.
Yeah, and amongst all the other little places we went to, we never got the Nutcracker squeezed in there.
No.
So I was super excited when I found out. I didn't know it was a ballet until I went online to look at it. She just said The Great Gatsby.
Yeah.
So I thought it was a play, a musical like normally we go to. But then when I saw it was a ballet, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's awesome. But I do want to say that so the Sotherton tea room closes at 5 p.m. So that's why we had thought, okay, from 5 to 7, we've got all this time
Yeah.
to kill. So we would go over to the Galleria, do our little thing, right? To kill time before driving up to Folsom. So anyway, well, we ended up staying in there. The doors are closed. The doors are locked. And
Everyone's gone.
There's left in there about me and Marilyn, right? And the servers, and Elaine. And Elaine's mom was there.
Oh, my gosh.
Who was just the sweetest English little lady.
She was
And she was adorable.
so
wasn't
adorable.
She? Yeah.
It made me so misty
Yeah.
to see Elaine, and her mom
And
is
her
still
mom.
alive.
I know.
And so lovely and so sweet.
She was sitting way in the back watching.
Just so quiet. I
Yeah.
thought she was another customer. And when
I had heard someone say, "Is this your mom?" And she said, "Yes." So
Ah.
that's why when we went back there to talk, I said, "I think this is Elaine's mom." So it was. So anyway, she had introduced us, and there's actually a painting in the tea room, and we had saw that from the first time we had gone,
Yeah.
and talked about who's this woman?
Yeah.
She's gorgeous, Yeah. And remember, she had talked about being a baroness or whatever,
Yes.
a baron and baroness
Yes.
and all this stuff. Anyway, the picture was of her mom when she was how old? 19 or something?
yeah, 19. Yeah,
Yeah.
like a teenager.
And
Mhm.
she's like 90 something now.
Yeah, I think she's 93 or something.
Something like that,
and
yeah.
she's so sharp as a tack.
Oh my gosh. So to see that picture and then to see her now, and that was just really, really cool.
Yeah, it was so heartwarming.
Yeah, it really was. So we think we're going to have all this spare
Yeah.
time. And so, of course, we're all talking. I'm talking to Elaine's mom, and then she ends up talking to Elaine, and then she's talking to Angelina.
Yeah, the server.
And then we're talking to
Jan, the
who's
chef.
the chef. And we start talking about other events like Mother's Day.
Yeah,
coming
because she's
up.
doing a really cute
Yeah,
thing on Mother's Day.
all these different things. And
Yes.
we're like, oh, maybe you could do this, and maybe you could do that. And
Yeah.
she's always been very open to our suggestions.
Yeah, she's so cute that way.
I know. But anyway, we end up talking so long that now we're running late.
Yeah.
And it's starting to rain.
Yeah,
And we have like a 45-minute
drive from Lincoln to
to
Folsom.
Folsom. So I am like, oh my God, Marilyn, let's get out of here. We gotta go.
I know, right? I'm grabbing our
So-
to-go
Oh my
containers
gosh,
and our
we're getting all
sweaters.
our stuff and trying to grab everything. and run to the car. So now we're rushing.
Yeah.
Rushing to get up to Folsom by 7. Well, we barely made it, but we made it.
Yeah. And the funny thing, too, is that I was on such a fun high at the tea room that I did not realize what was going on internally inside of me because many of you know I don't do well with caffeine. And if I don't get a decaf mocha, I get a half calf because
she gets half
the
calf
caffeine
all the time.
freaks me out so bad. And so I hadn't eaten since we ate the pastries at 11, and now it's 6 o'clock. And I'm on this fun high visiting with everybody, and we get in the car, and reality sets in that we've got about 45 minutes now to get to Folsom to catch the play, the ballet. And all of a sudden, I start feeling my heart racing. My hands started shaking like I was having an episode from the caffeine so bad. And this hasn't happened to me since Brayden was like 6 months old, where I literally accidentally drank a full caffeinated mocha and realized it after I drank the whole thing. And I was having like this out-of-body experience from the caffeine so bad.
And I didn't even know it until we got to the place. You didn't say, oh, wait, I do think you said one time, like halfway there, we were almost there, that, oh my God, I'm so jittery.
Yes, I
from
felt
this
like my
caffeine.
whole body was trembling, and I could just feel my heart like beating out of my chest.
I hate
and
that.
then Steve called to just check on us and see how everything was going, and we were kind of in this bumper to bumper traffic. So I'm talking to Steve, my heart's racing, my head is pounding, my hands are shaking, and then we have to stop in the traffic, and all of a sudden, like the whole combination just got me so washed over. I literally thought I was going to throw up in Cynthia's car. So I just tell Steve, I have to let you go, and I hung up with them. And like we had mentioned on other podcasts, we carry barf bags with us because with my allergy to garlic and onion and her washed over motion sickness, like we're gonna throw up at any point in time. I reach in my purse and I'm kind of secretly trying to like open it up just in case I need to use it. But I was a disaster.
Well, and then on top of it, we have drank. You know, she's already peed twice. I haven't gone at all there. And then, oh wait, no, I did go right before we left. That's right, I did go. And so we're driving like 45 minutes to get to the ballet, and we are parking, and we both have to pee.
Yeah.
Again.
Because
the tea just goes
3 pots
through you.
Of tea.
And I'm going, great. Not only are we late, not only is it raining, we have to pee. So when we got into the double doors and they're doing our tickets, the little chimes are going off in there.
Like
there's this
the
chime.
call.
Yeah,
that the ballet is getting ready to start.
She said, oh, there goes the 5-minute chime. And I said, oh, we got 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a lot of time. That's plenty.
Let's go pee. You know?
Plenty of
time. So we're running. Of course, it's all the way down at the end.
At the very end.
At the very end. So you run all the way down there, go to the restroom, wash your hands, run back over here, get to our seats. And we're like, oh, my God, we made it.
Oh, Lord. And I still feel like I'm going to throw up.
She is like, I noticed.
Just the anxiety.
Yeah. And I did notice, I think it was during the very beginning. Later on in the beginning, I noticed she had a shawl with her, and she was putting it up around her. And it's usually me that's freezing. I'm always freezing when we go into theaters, and all that stuff. And I kept thinking to myself, wow, I'm surprised she's cold because usually it's me freezing, and I'm not cold. My coat is, still down here on my lap.
Yeah.
And then when intermission came, she told me, she goes, no, I'm having so much anxiety.
Yeah.
It's like my body is just not feeling
trauma.
good. Yeah.
Like I felt so traumatized.
I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't know it was that bad.
I did not either. Honestly, we've gone to the tea house before.
Oh, yes.
The only thing I could think of is maybe the teas that I chose weren't decaf. I don't know. I honestly, I didn't ask her which ones were caffeinated, which ones weren't. I didn't even think it was a problem because we've been there so many times and I've never had a problem. But I think because I wasn't eating that I made up for it with drinking more tea. Because I don't think I've ever drank that much tea, but regardless, we've got reservations for Mother's Day, and I'm definitely going to ask her which ones are decaf, because that literally threw my whole system off.
Wow. Well, At least she made it through, and the ballet was gorgeous.
Oh my gosh!
I mean, it was absolutely beautiful.
Yes.
I do want to say though that I never had saw the movie The Great Gatsby.
Me neither.
So neither one of us have.
I think we should have watched the movie before.
First.
But honestly, we both had so much going on in the 3 weeks leading up to me planning all that.
I know.
So maybe we could do that. Maybe
we'll
we could
have to watch
it together.
The movie. Yeah, we'll have to do that because we were kind of watching the play, basically just watching the beautiful dancing. And I've always been intrigued with toe shoes, how they can do that. And I just think it's so beautiful.
It's so
and when I was a
elegant.
little girl, I always dreamed of being a ballerina. And, you know, I would have never been a ballerina because I can't twirl because I would throw up as I'm twirling. So
well, and I get feet cramps.
At least I knew.
I get feet cramps all the time.
I get
so there's no way I can point my toe.
But I got to tell you real quick. So after that, I mean, it was the best day ever. Okay,
Yeah.
it was just a magical day.
I'm so glad you had a good time.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yes,
I had so much fun, and then I got to open a beautiful gift from her. On top of everything, I had a gift. But I wanted to throw in there that I was, my husband and my son took me out to dinner that Sunday for my birthday because I haven't seen my son David. He works on during the week and stuff, and his days off are Sunday, Monday. So they had planned to take me to Ruth Chris for my birthday. So I was super excited to go to Ruth Chris because it's my favorite. And so we're sitting there, and we got the prefix. So we love that one because you get a salad or a soup, and then you get a choice of a filet with shrimp or a filet and lobster, and then you actually get a dessert too. So anyway, and a side. So anyway, so we're eating our food and stuff and kind of chit-chatting a little bit. And then we had a long wait between our food and our dessert. And so anyway, so then David goes, well, since I'm not going back to the house, he goes, do you want me to just give you your present now? And I go, oh, sure.
Oh.
And he's not holding anything, right? And I just, because he had asked me, like, what do you want for your birthday? And I said, you know what, just get me a TJ Maxx gift card.
Oh,
Just easy.
We love TJ Maxx.
Yeah, I just want you to make it easy for you. And I love shopping there.
Yeah.
That's where I go.
Get a free shopping
Yeah, that's how I always feel.
Yeah.
Right? Remember? It's always free when you get a gift card.
Free.
So anyway, so he pulls out an envelope and he hands it to me. And I brought the card to show you. So this card on it says a birthday bouquet for Mom. And it says the roses mean love, the tulips mean you're perfect, the orchids mean you're thoughtful. And then when you open it up, there's just like a big bouquet in there of flowers.
Cute.
But then David writes on here, the orchids also mean aloha. He said, love, David. And so I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm turning it around like this, trying to find my gift card.
Yes, TJ Maxx, baby.
Yeah, where's my card?
But I'm like,
so then he goes, I go, well, I'm like, he goes, are you looking for your gift? And I go, yeah. And so he takes this out of his pocket and he hands me this and he goes, read this. So I go, okay.
And I don't know what this is.
She
So
doesn't know.
I'm going to find out right along with you
I
guys.
haven't even told her.
No.
So I open this up and I'm seeing Hawaiian Airlines.
No, I was thinking when he said the orchids mean aloha.
Didn't even click.
Oh,
So I'm like,
my
what?
gosh.
And I'm like, my heart starts pounding.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm looking at this and I'm reading it. And he's like, I'm taking you to Oahu, Waikiki, your favorite island.
Yes.
And he goes, and we are flying first class.
Oh my God.
I have never in my life flown first class.
Oh, it is
Every
so
time I go
fancy.
to Hawaii, I will walk past first class in
Oh.
Hawaiian Air, and I go, my dream is to fly first class on Hawaiian Airlines. And every time I click to see how much it costs, I'm like, oh, hell no, I'm not going to fly
Oh
first
my
class,
gosh,
right?
but your sweet son.
I couldn't believe, I started to cry.
Oh my gosh, can I see
started
this?
to cry, yeah.
When is it?
Okay, get this.
I can't read without my
Oh.
glasses. Darn.
We leave on Mother's Day.
No.
Yes, he has it. So we leave on Mother's Day.
Ah.
I know. And we're staying for an entire week, so it's Sunday to Sunday.
Oh my gosh.
So that's my Mother's
so
Day.
excited for you.
Oh, thank you so much. And on top of it, he booked our hotel that when he was young, and we always stayed at the Outrigger Reef on the beach.
Oh my gosh.
He booked that hotel.
David, you get the Son of the Year
Oh,
award.
I know, right?
Good job.
I know.
I am so so impressed, and
Oh
I am
my
so
gosh.
excited.
I am
Hawaii is
too.
her happy place. Like,
It is.
That's her favorite place in the whole
It
world.
really is, and I keep watching like things
Oh.
on YouTube, or I've kind of joined to follow a couple of people, and they'll show
Yes.
Oahu and Maui and all this, and me and my son actually had talked about going together, and he hasn't been since he was 18.
Oh my
The last
gosh.
time we all went taking kids
Yes.
was the last time he went. So he was and I said,
Oh.
well, have you ever thought about maybe us going, me and you, because me and him can have a blast together.
You guys work really
We
well
do.
together.
And I said, I can't pay for both of us. I said, but would you like be able to pay for your own and I'll pay for
Yeah,
mine?
yeah.
And then maybe we could go. So when he hands me
Oh.
this and says that we are flying first class and we are going to Oahu, my favorite island, and we're staying at my favorite hotel, and then he tells me, Mom, I've been saving up for a long time to do this for you.
my-
I lost
I
hope.
would have bawled my eyes out. I totally don't blame you.
Oh, I couldn't even believe
And they're
it.
happy tears.
Yeah.
You always
very
do the
much
happy tears.
Yeah.
I always do sad tears.
So I am so excited.
I am so excited for you. I'm so jealous. I'm
Thank
so
you.
happy for you.
Thank you,
That
thank
is
you.
so
I know.
amazing.
And that was the funniest thing, because then, like, the next day, I get a phone call from my brother-in-law. And they're in Idaho. My sister and him are in Idaho. And my brother-in-law, Richard, says to me, hey, I am so tired of listening to your sister complain about the freezing cold weather in Idaho, because he's the one who wanted to move there, right? And I'm so sick of listening about the snow and the wind and all this. And,
I would too.
And he goes, so I am surprising her with a trip to Maui. And I'm like, oh my God, she's going to die. And I'm thinking, oh my God, this is crazy. I just got this surprise trip
Yes.
given to me, and now she's going to get surprised. And he goes, so I just need to make sure that you guys are home on this day and this day. And he goes, because what they have to do when you live in Idaho, you got to fly or drive or fly from Idaho to Sacramento, and then you fly from Sacramento to
Destination.
the destination, or they're going to Maui the next early morning. So he just needed to make sure it all worked out. And I said, yes, we're all available. I can help with it. You guys can spend the night here, blah, blah, blah. So he said, okay, as soon as I find out the dogs are taken care of, then I'll text you to let you know that it's a go.
Yeah.
I said, perfect. So he texts me, says, it's a go, we're going. So I said, when are you going to tell her? He goes, I just did. And so I was jumping in the car and leaving. I was meeting another friend for my another birthday thing. And I called my sister because I wanted to hear her voice.
Yeah, with
and
her
I
excitement.
said, yeah, and I go, so are you so excited? And she goes, oh my God. She goes, I've been bawling. She goes, I can't believe that in 3 days I'm going to be laying on Polo
That
Beach.
is just like too much to process
I-
in such a short
She
amount
goes,
of time.
I have 2 days.
to pack
She
and
goes, I
to
can't
launch
lose
your-
weight in 2 days.
Oh my gosh. No, it's come as you are.
I go, who cares? So actually, they flew out this morning.
Oh my gosh. And was she freaking out when you
Oh,
told her
she
that
was.
David got you a trip?
Yes, I said I was actually going to call you.
Oh my gosh.
I said I have something to share with you, and oh my gosh, she was just like, oh my God, yeah. So
That is
anyway,
so cool.
we have just had a very Hawaiian weekend.
Yes. And I wanted you and I to go to Oahu.
Oh, we
so
will.
you're going to have
We
to go.
will.
Okay,
I know.
so since you didn't have to pay for this trip.
Yes.
For yourself, then you could pay for yourself,
Yeah.
and I'll pay for myself, and
Right.
then we'll go to Oahu.
There you go.
Because she is the best tour guide. She knows everywhere,
'Cause I've been
everything
there a million times.
about every island of Hawaii.
Oh,
so,
but that's all I go. I'm
Yeah.
not like a world traveler. I don't really.
you've been to Japan twice.
Three
Three.
times, but that's the only time. That's the only time.
Braden wants to go to Japan so bad.
Yeah.
So I told her, I'm like, well, actually, I told Braden, I'm
Yeah.
like, we're not going without Cynthia. I'm too scared. And then I tell Cynthia, and she's like, I don't know if I can afford to go. I'm
Well,
like,
and I can't speak the language.
oh,
you
that's
know?
true.
the hard
Because your
part.
mom was the one who
My
translated.
mom went with us twice, and she translated when she was alive, so we went twice. And then the last time I went on a tour. That was David's
Oh.
actually, when he graduated from high school, I took David, it was me and him, on a tour of Japan, which was
Wow.
amazing. I mean,
Sweden
my
wants
mother
to
said
do
we
that.
saw more of Japan than she saw living there, up until
Yes.
in her 20s and stuff. Yeah, because we
Yes.
go over, all over the place. So,
Wow.
Yeah, so anyway.
That would be so fun.
So I did have an amazing birthday.
And you
It
still
was-
have one more celebration.
I do. I have one
this
more.
weekend.
Yeah, with my husband's family. I haven't seen
Yay!
them yet.
I think you've had a really
Don't
good...
think I'm going to get another trip to Hawaii, though.
No, I'm sure not. I'm sorry. If I could afford to buy you another
Oh,
trip,
goodness.
I would. Oh, but you're
anyway.
going to have the best time ever.
Yes,
Yeah.
I am. I'm super excited. So
Oh, I'm
anyway,
excited for you.
I'm so happy to be able to share it with everybody.
Yeah,
And it
you
was
got to
so
share
much
it with
fun.
everybody
And
listening.
oh my God! Sorry to touch your hair.
No,
oh
you're
my
fine.
God! Oh my God! I love you so much.
I love you so
And
much.
thank you for everything.
You are so welcome.
And we will catch all you guys on the next one.
Yeah, thanks for
And we'll
hanging
see
out
you
with us.
soon.